Good morning. It is December 17th, 2024. It's a Tuesday. The sun is shining, and I'm excited to be bringing to you actually our last Taco Tuesday of 2024, which is always brings a tear to my eye, but think nothing of it. We'll have more sessions starting again in January. So to keep my introduction short, I'm going to share our agenda for today and then introduce our first presenter. So coming to us from a new WiLS vendor partner, AM Digital, I'm joined today by Stefan Simmons. I think I said it right. We talked a little bit earlier about name pronunciations. Stefan, are you ready to take the reins and show us around a little bit?
Yes, sir, I am, and you got it perfect. Thank you for the introduction.
My pleasure.
So,
Thanks for being here.
certainly, yeah, thank you for having us. So I'll go ahead and hop in here. Excellent. So again, thanks so much for having me today. I'm a member of AM, also known as AM Digital. Those of you that may have had the opportunity to speak with a representative with AM in the past may also know us by Adam Matthew or Adam Matthew Digital. We are a primary archival collections publisher. Our collections are all digital. And so today I'll just be really giving an overview about what it is that we do, what our mission is, and then giving you a look at our federated search tool. It's called AM Explorer Liberal Arts. I think it's an excellent way to showcase really the comprehensive nature and the interdisciplinary levels of use that these different primary source collections can have in and outside of the classroom, as they are IP access based. And so students are able to access these resources on as well as off campus. So let's dive right in. We did a bit of a introduction already. But again, my name's Stefan Simmons. I've been with AM just over a year at this point. I'm a fellow Midwesterner, like most of you all up in Wisconsin. I live in Kansas City. And so I can brag on the barbecue, but the cheese isn't nearly as good, right? Or the beer, frankly. So it's been a lot of fun being able to be with AM. I began working with university libraries when I was in college as an undergraduate. I was an informational literacy and history tutor. And so being able to utilize these different collections and work with them has been a real pleasure of mine. So, a quick overview of what we'll be talking about over the course of about the next 10 minutes. Again, we'll be going over exactly who it is that AM is, what it is that we do, and then going through that federated search tool. And then to give you all a bit of a look at where we're headed in the future, I have also attached a couple of different screenshots from our 2025 front list just to continue to show the direction of where we're headed as a publisher. And then we have a couple minutes left open for Q&A at the end of this presentation. So I'm looking forward to answering some of those different questions. Please do feel free to use that Q&A chat box that's being monitored, and we'll make sure to get to those questions at the end of this presentation. So to start with our mission here, AM's digital collections and our technology platforms really work to enrich the study, the research, and the teaching of primary sources. We build out our own platform. It's called AM Cortex. I'll offer some details on that in a moment. But we've been in this publishing game for over 30 years now. We started out as a microfilm company in the UK and have since, of course, begun publishing digital archival collections. Our first digital archival collection being published over 15 years ago now. And so we've been continuing to build into the market and making sure that we are the best publisher that we can be. So we break down our portfolio into three separate pillars. Okay, it's going to be the discover, learn, and the create pillars. Within discover, it's going to be where all of our primary source collections are housed, and they're broken up into three subsections. I'll outline what those are for you now. We have AM primary, that's going to be all of your multi-archival collections. Your AM Scholar, that's going to be everything that was microfilm that has since been digitized, as well as AM Archives Direct. And all of those different publications are the result of a unique partnership that we're able to benefit from with the National Archives in the United Kingdom. So we're able to publish a lot of different Foreign Office files, and confidential print series in partnership with the UK. The time limitations to when we're able to publish these are when they are released to the British public. And so that's about a 30-year period. So you'll continue to see different Foreign Office files, confidential print series, government correspondences released through AM Archives Direct. So we also have AM Learn. As a tutor, as I previously mentioned, this is really my wheelhouse here. I absolutely love the Learn pillar. We've developed a collection that's called AM Research Skills. And so there's 2 modules for it currently. First module is called Foundations. That's going to be for your first year experience courses, maybe some of those high school students, some of your K through 12 patrons and peers of the library. And so that's really meant to build out the foundation of asynchronous and in-class informational literacy tools. What is historiography? What is a multi-archival collection? And then the second module is called Interrogating Colonial Documents and Narratives. That module is really meant to build on top of what Foundations introduces, engaging students and helping them to be able to uncover the voices of marginalized peoples, to uncover their true stories and their true histories. So very exciting pillar there. Within the Create pillar, we have our own platform, AM Cortex. I mentioned this previously, but I'll offer some more detail here. We use it more than anyone else because we create it and publish our own collections on it. So we care about making sure that it is as highly accessible as possible for different levels of researchers, and that it has a very high level of ease of use. You can use this platform also to digitize your own special collections or your own archives. And so we do have a growing Cortex community with museums, heritage institutions, and archives from all over the globe. We have a fantastic team for that. If you all have any questions or would like to be put in touch to learn about how you could build your own collection on this platform, I'd be more than happy to put you in touch with that team after this meeting. So now we're going to dive into AM Explorer. This whistle stop tour is going quick, so thanks for bearing with me here. This is going to be your landing page. As you can see, this federated search tool is really meant to present itself like Google, right? It's a single point of discovery. You can type in your search and it's going to cover all of our different collections, the 75 that are included in AM Explorer Liberal Arts, and be able to use a targeted search using optical character recognition, as well as HTR, which is handwritten tracking recognition technology. And so we aren't just wanting to be able to get a researcher straight to the document. We're wanting to make sure that they have the hits within the document so that, for example, in my research on Bolivar in college, I wouldn't have to read 30 pages of collegiate level 19th century Spanish. I could read 2 pages, and it was the 2 pages with the information that I needed. So very, very useful applications of those different technology tools here. I did a search Christmas theme for St. Nicholas, as it is the season, and I hope that everyone's feeling a little bit of the Christmas or holiday spirit. And so on this left side, you can see that this is what your overall search is going to look like. You can see that you can filter between all of our different collections here. And so I filtered into children's literature and culture to take a look at, what some of those late 19th century depictions of St. Nick look like, as well as just some of the different themes and stories that were coming out of that period and how they differentiate from what we have now. And so on that right side, you'll see that when we click on a specific document out of that federated search, it's going to bring up a sub window before we jump into the full document. This sub window is going to lay out a short scripted list of the metadata that's going to be included, as well as listing the source collection of that document. And so you'll see here again, that's going to be children's literature and culture. When we click into the document over here on this left-hand side, you'll see that we have all of the metadata extrapolated out here and plugged in, everything from record IDs to subjects within the Library of Congress. And a lot of this metadata has been included as linked data so that researchers are able to navigate back out to higher level searches and things that are related to St. Nicholas, or they can continue to dive into deeper themes and continue to evaluate different facets of their own inquiries from the document here. So this is all meant to be able to make this an easily navigable service for any level of researcher. A professional level of researcher using, for example, a Foreign Office files document would also have file series numbers that they would be able to use for much more high-level specific searches as well. So again, this is meant to be applied across all different levels of academic research. So I also want to cover a little bit of where we're headed in 2025. I mentioned this previously, but I think that we have some pretty fantastic collections on the horizon slated for publication. To shout out a couple of recent publications that I'm very proud to be able to represent, we partnered with Amnesty International, the human rights group, to be able to digitize their own archives for the first time. And so they're actually able to receive royalties through that archive. And so we're able to contribute monies back into Amnesty International through that partnership. That's a very cool one. My favorite Cortex partnership, we partnered with the Galt Museum and Archive up in Canada. They are digitizing Ukraine's cultural knowledge and historical heritage. And so we're very proud to be able to do that as well. And so when we're talking about what our mission is and really making sure that we're expanding outside of our own direct portfolio, partnering with institutions that are making an impact in academia and world culture, that's exactly within the vein of what I'm talking about here. So keeping an eye on time, I'll give you all just a moment to take a look at our 2025 front list here. The interdisciplinary application of this portfolio spans from the arts and humanities in every facet to marketing and business. We're able to do medical history and warfare as well, gender identity and social change, econ, a myriad of different studies can be applied to these different collections. And so as you're reading through what we have coming in the next year, you'll see the different portfolio sections also outlining. So we have Apartheid South Africa. The final module of this collection will be being published this year through Archives Direct, as well as Foreign Office files, the consulate and legation files from China from early to mid 19th century up through 1939. So just a brief look at what we have coming. And yeah, again, thank you so much for allowing for us to join today. I'm really looking forward to our future partnership now with the state of Wisconsin and the General Consortia. And should anyone have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them at this time. So thanks again, Jeff.
Thank you, Stefan. What a great overview of AM and what you have to offer. I think earlier I described you, AM, as a brand new partner, although that's not technically true. But I think this is like one of the first times we've had you on for Taco Tuesday, certainly you personally. But I'm really excited to be talking about AM Digital again, and I'm looking forward to kind of collaborating a little bit more on getting the word out about what you have to offer for our members.
Thank you.
I don't see any questions coming in yet, but I had one.
Sure.
Naturally, I think the kinds of primary source collections available are going to be really appealing and useful in higher education settings. But I imagine that you've got some uptake among like high school and even like kind of primary or elementary school age materials. Is there a collection or a space that you think our school or K-12 library should be looking at?
Absolutely, yes. We have been partnering with a lot more K-12 schools in the last number of years as well, and so that's been something that we've had our eyes on too. Some of our recent publications, including the American History Collection that covers 1493 through 1945. Materials of that nature are really fantastic in being able to apply for interdisciplinary, more comprehensive levels of study at the K through 12 level. I also a great shout out, as I am keeping an eye on time, of course. We also just had our first foray into open access. We published Shakespeare's First Folios. And so we also have a number of other collections that are related to Shakespeare. However, for those of you that are into theater, drama, literature study, I encourage you to go take a look at Shakespeare's First Folio through AM Digital. And it'll give you access to our platform and give you a good look at really the kinds of materials that we're including for different courses within the K through 12 market.
Fantastic. Thanks again, Seven, for joining us. We'll be very soon organizing our sessions for next year. So I hope you'll come back for another Taco Tuesday in the not too distant future.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks again.
All right. So with that said, I am going to queue us up for our next presenter. Joining us from actual brand new vendor partner with WiLS, coming to us from Lingopie is Shy. Shy, are you ready to sort of take over and show us some stuff here?
Sure, yeah. Let me do that. Hi, Jeff. It's thank you for having me. It's great to be here and be a new partner to WiLS. I'm the Vice President of Business Development for Lingopie. I oversee, among other things, the library product. What is Lingopie? It's basically a Netflix for language learning. We basically take real TV shows and real movies that weren't created for the purpose of education to begin with. That is, they were aired in those markets for the purpose of entertainment. But what we've done is we've added our own interactive language learning layer on top of that content that basically turns like these real episodes, real TV shows that you would be watching anyway, into language learning lessons. So I can definitely show you what it looks like. I could go through a brief demo. Let me do that. And I assume you can see that, Jeff, right?
Looks good.
Okay, wonderful. I'll keep an eye on the time as I do it. So right away, when you log in, you can see that the show catalog looks a lot like any streaming service, whether it's, you know, Apple TV or Netflix or what have you. We have just about every genre from you know, all over the world. Right now we're looking at the Spanish catalog, but we offer a whole bunch of different languages and have many more coming. So we have about 30 different language combinations. Some of the more popular ones appear on the screen over there. So I'm looking at the Spanish catalog, and you know, right away you can see that we have content from, you know, in the Spanish catalog here. I'll see a little flag. I have content from, you know, Colombia or Spain or Argentina, and I can easily filter out the content, so I can get familiar with the different dialects and languages from each country. I can choose the level or the genre and find a show that you know, I enjoy watching. You know, the reason we created Lingopie is that there is a ton of literature out there about the efficacy of learning languages with captioned media. But there are all sorts of problems, you know, accessing, you know, media that's really fun to watch, that is appropriate, that you know, is accurately subtitled and can be used for language learning. You know, there are a lot of different ways someone could learn a language. You know, they can enroll in a class, they can, you know, get private tutoring, they can, you know, use a chatbot. You know, but you know, the problem with a lot of these ways of learning languages is that, frankly, they're hard work, and we see a failure rate of above 50% within the first 2 weeks alone. So folks get home from a long day at work and it's now time to, you know, learn Spanish. You know, they really don't feel like doing, you know, translation exercises or learning grammar or, you know, other fun stuff like that. But they all turn on the TV and, you know, watch TV for at least 10 or 15 minutes a day. And so by, you know, working language learning into your daily routine, it's a lot easier to stick with, you know, language learning. If you use a traditional, you know, software over a weekend, you know, spend 10 hours, you know, learning a language, for most people, it's akin to torture. At the same time, if you know, spend 10 hours on Lingopie binge watching a series, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad weekend, you know? And so let me show you kind of what the learning experience is like. So I'll pull up a show. This is, you know, I pulled up a show that's of moderate difficulty from Argentina. At the beginning of the show, based on the specific user level, We see some words that we're going to encounter and their definition. We have a playback speed that's automatically adjusted for the level of the user, again, based on that specific user. And we just simply begin watching. It's a new advertisement for our new TV app. So right away, I can see that I can slow down the speech rate. I can turn on or off dual subtitles. You know, it's very important to be able to read the language you're learning while listening to it. But the problem is that when you find good content, let's say on Netflix, you have the choice of either the learning language or your native language. And if you're just a beginner, watching TV in Spanish while reading it in Spanish and listening to it in Spanish is not going to be very entertaining or useful. And so even just the presence of dual subtitles is something that, makes Lingopie unique. So as I'm looking through the subtitles, I can hover on any word to get an instant translation. I could click on it to save it into my vocabulary list and get some basic grammar explanation. And as I watch the content, I'm able to interact with it in various ways. I can, for example, pronounce the sentence using my microphone, get a numerical grade, listen to myself, in the pronunciation. I can get in-depth grammatical explanations by clicking anywhere on the screen. I can get really in-depth grammatical explanations. Sometimes we have certain verb tenses in Spanish that we may not be familiar with as learners. And although most people don't love to be immersed in grammar, having a feature that allows you to dive into the grammar at your own pace is something that's very very helpful sometimes. The script on the side I can always minimize, and I can watch this full screen on my TV or on my laptop, on the web, on my mobile devices, whether it's a tablet or iOS or Android phone. We recently released a smart TV app that allows me to just pull Lingopie on my Android supported smart TV. Our Roku app is coming out next week. And there are a lot of features that are built into the platform that sort of make learning very practical. Like the ability to quickly go back to that last subtitle in case I missed something. Like the ability to play back a sentence over and over and over again, so I can listen to it and get accustomed to the tempo and the rhythm of the language. Again, I can get a breakdown of all the parts of speech, the definitions, and slowly add them to my list of vocabulary words that I can later practice with games, quizzes, and other sort of fun activities. I know we don't have time for a full demo here, but I can show you what that sort of looks like. So all of the vocabulary that I've interacted with, that I've saved because I decided, I was unfamiliar with it and needed to test myself on, is all located in one space for me. I can see all the terms here and their definitions, their phrases, when I've last encountered them, how long ago I came across with them, and using our space repetition method, I could see, how far along I am in the learning process. I can filter out this glossary by a variety of different variables, from the gender or parts of speech to the tense, person, or even the frequency. I can practice all of this using games or quizzes or these very neat video-based flashcards, just like a regular flashcard. It has the definition on the other side, but it also plays the scene in context, so I can practice in context, which helps a lot with long-term retention. Likewise, there are different quizzes. Again, the scene can be played in context to help with recall. I also have, a variety of different games. And the nice thing about Lingopie is that it's not a CD-ROM from 1997. We're always adding brand new content, different types of exercises, additional languages, other apps that make learning a lot more fun and engaging. For example, over the last year, we added a Netflix Select category. So in addition to the 3,000 TV shows, movies, audiobooks, podcasts that we have on the platform that are hosted locally on the platform, we also enable users that have their own Netflix account to actually pull Netflix content right into the platform and use all of the Lingopie learning features like dual subtitles, like clickable subtitles, like the games and quizzes, all using Netflix content. Last week, we released our Disney Plus extension, which allows folks that have a Disney Plus account to connect their Disney Plus account and really learn, again, using fun content that could be found on Disney. That I think, is a fair synopsis of what the platform can do. We have over 2 million users on the platform that are independent language learners. In addition to that, we offer a schools product working with K through 12 and universities, which is similar to the product you've seen, but also has some LMS-like features that enable instructors to, assign content and use it practically in the classroom. In addition to that, we of course have the a library product that enables patrons to access the resource from anywhere. They don't have to be at the library. They could access the resource on demand just using their library card number. And that I think, with the time allotted, that I think that does a fair job. We always offer free trials for extended periods for anyone that would like to take a look at the resource, and they can get a more personalized sort of a presentation if they wish, or otherwise they can just access the platform and fool around with it.
Shai, thank you so much. That one of the things I like best about Taco Tuesday is that I like the members, but I myself like to get a chance to see something that I've never seen before. And until I heard of Lingopie, I don't know, it never really occurred to me that you could take popular entertainment content and bolt on this kind of enhancement of the language learning aspect to do just what you said, which is kind of like short circuit the chore feeling of learning a language and really just watching something that you're cool and engaged in, and be learning the language at the same time and leveraging what we've learned about people doing that sort of ad hoc with subtitles. So I think it's fantastic. It's a great idea, and I'm really excited to have you as a WiLS vendor now.
Thank you very much. I personally, before the Lingopie product was available, I personally used to use TV shows and movies to learn several languages, English being one of them. And I was always frustrated that it was just very time consuming because we didn't have all of the nice bells and whistles like that Lingopie might have. So sort of did it that way, but the hard way. And if we can make it easier and more accessible for more folks to be able to really learn a language in a fun way, well, then we've accomplished our mission. So thanks very much. I know we're out of time, but I appreciate the time today.
It's our pleasure. Thanks for joining us, Shai. Okay, let me share my screen one more time just to I always like to put a clean starting point for the recording in case anyone's zipping right to a particular segment. Of course, now I wasn't ready to do that. Here we go. All right, so we are talking with our vendors here at Taco Tuesday today, and I'm excited to welcome Pat Salazar coming to us from Britannica. Britannica is a longtime WiLS vendor partner. Pat and I have only been working together for a little while, and this is our first time actually seeing each other's faces, so it's a real treat for me. Pat, are you ready to take over and show us something?
Absolutely. So if that's okay with you, I am going to share my screen. I just kind of want to, I'm going to do actually a couple of shares with everyone. So first of all, I'm going to just kind of present myself, the product overall. But my name is Pat Salazar, and I've been with Encyclopedia Britannica, or as we're called now, Britannica Education, for a little over 35, maybe 36 years. And I'm now in customer success, and I typically handle all of the colleges, universities, and public libraries. But this year, we're just kind of changing things a little bit. So my market is actually public libraries for this product, ImageQuest. So without further ado, I'm just going to let everybody know through these slide deck what ImageQuest is, and then we'll kind of dive into it and take a little bit of a look at it. So anyway, what's new with Britannica ImageQuest? We actually had an update earlier this year, or actually later this year, which was right around September, October. And what we've done is we've added 3.4 million images to ImageQuest. There are now a little over 11,000 video clips in ImageQuest. And we have slightly over 60 media partners, and that ranges from Getty Images, Ingram Publishing. So there's a whole list of media partners that you could take a look at, which I will show you once we kind of dive into ImageQuest. And again, there's no overemphasizing that these are all rights-cleared images for educational, non-commercial use in K-12 schools, public libraries, and colleges and universities. So if these markets would love to avoid any copyright infringement, this is absolutely the resource to get for your educational institution. And so just, kind of quickly, you can take a look at real quick the layout of ImageQuest. You'll see how colorful it is, and you'll be able to see, once I take you in, the different types of images and videos that are available in ImageQuest. And then we also have image details for the images or videos that the users are accessing. Everything is all laid out beautifully. Different image resolutions for these images or videos that could be accessed. And then also, it's so easy within ImageQuest to create albums, and to just kind of pick and choose the media or the video that you're interested in case you're doing a presentation, oral presentation or written presentation. You can just collect them all and then come back to them whenever you want. So everything is listed right there for you. And I kind of went over the media partners, so you'll be able to see on the left-hand side, there's a short list. On the right-hand side, there's a full list. In case there's a specific media partner that you'd like to work with, you can check to see if we have them here. And that's in the media partners section. And then we also have, for those K-12 schools that are interested in this particular product, we sort of have this resource page with steps on how to use ImageQuest, whether it's in the library or in the classroom. And this is very useful information as you're accessing ImageQuest and trying to fit those curriculum needs in the media section. So that's also available. As a subscriber, we have onboarding for ImageQuest. We provide video links for this resource, promotional material, and all updates and enhancements are available to our users as soon as they become available. So having said that, I am now going to take you into ImageQuest just so that you could see what that looks like real quick. Okay, so. Perfect. And I'm just going to ask, can everyone see my ImageQuest resource?
Yep, we can see it.
Perfect. Okay. So,
It switched back to the slides now.
oh, it did. Okay. How does that look?
Yep.
Okay. So let me just see what is happening here real quick. Okay. So within ImageQuest, this is a resource that you would be subscribing to, and this is the landing page. As I mentioned, we have a search box here in case you're interested in doing a search for a specific topic. If you're not, and you just kind of want to go in and take a look at all of the collections, as I said, there are about 3.4 million images. You can view these with the Images tab or the videos. And these are actually a collection of the most popular titles that we have in ImageQuest, and they've been pulled by our editorial and product team and specially crafted for the end user. So for purposes of this, we'll just kind of do a search for, let's say, mountains. I'd like to see what's out there. And as you do that, you'll be able to see that we have, for example, 123 images for mountains. And you can view those by media partner. You can view those by shape. You can also view those by image type. Also, you'll be able to see the different viewing formats that are available here. And let me just kind of move this a little out of the way. Okay, and then also to the right-hand side, you'll see the Google Classroom button. You can select multiple images if you'd like, or you could just, for example, if you scroll over any one of these images, you'll be able to either add them to your media or download them. So for purposes of this, we'll just kind of go in and take a look at the different media resolution. And you'll see that you have a different resolution. You'll have media information that's listed here for that specific image. You'll have credit information, copyrights, image details. And then also over on the top right-hand section, right here, you'll be able to see all of your tools where you can share this image, you can download it, add it to your media, print it. Any tool that is available to you will be listed here. Very, very useful so that you don't have to look around. You know, we've made sure to make them accessible in very many locations for you. And so this is the images section. And for example, if you wanted to create a My Britannica, or excuse me, my folder, you would simply just go in here, and I'm actually going to sign out and then just kind of sign right back in here so that you can see that. So creating a My Britannica folder is very, very easy. You can either register as a first-time user to do that, but for purposes of this, I'm just going to quickly go in, sign in, and I will use my Google account since I already have one set up. And so you'll be able to see, again, all of the images that we've listed here. And I'm going to just kind of click the select button and just go in, take a look at a few of these. And just clicking on the plus sign, which is add to my media, you could go ahead and do that quickly. And if you wanted to create an album from here, you could do that. So we'll just name this Mountains just to make it simple for us. And we will go ahead and we will, MOUN, mountains, and we will add this. And you'll get the message at the top right that this has been added. and that's your confirmation. And so now you can see that you've selected 4 images, and they are in your My Media collection. So again, if you're clicking on these 3 lines, for example, I think these are like the table of contents. So you can go back to take a look at the different galleries if you'd like to see or collect more images. If you wanted to see the media partners, as I mentioned, you could go ahead and you could do that from here. And again, this is your short list, your full list also listed here. And then if you wanted to take a look at the project ideas a little bit further on different ways to incorporate ImageQuest, you can go ahead and you can do that. And then the My Britannica folder allows you to view your saved media or to create new albums at any point in time that you'd like. And you can create up to as many as you'd like. This would not take any space. You can add and delete whenever you like. So we'll just take a look at the saved media. And so you'll see that these are the pieces that I've saved in this particular session. And again, you can add them, you can download them to a specific device. Maybe you decide you don't like this image, you can just easily delete it. And then we will go back. And you can also take a look at your album. So this is the album. I have 4 images, as you could see, and then there are the other albums that I created for past projects with media pieces in those as well. So that pretty much covers everything that is in ImageQuest for 2024-25. And again, it is so easy to go back to the landing page from this table of contents. Again, you could do a different media search if you'd like for a specific subject, or maybe for your visual learners, you don't have an idea at this point. So actually just kind of jumping into the images and the video section is another great way to access the information here. And again, I can't stress enough with the rights cleared images that we provide. It's just a wealth of information for your users. You don't have to worry about, is this a real image, or has this been altered in any way? You don't have to worry about that with a subscription. And again, we're constantly adding and building new media partners, new images, new videos. This is constantly going through an evolution throughout the year. And so now you only may have about 60 or so media partners, but by the end of 2025, you know, that could be, again, we'll be adding, so that number will increase. So that pretty much takes us to the very, very end of ImageQuest, and I'd like to open it up in case anybody has questions or would like more information.
Thanks so much, Pat. Yeah, if anyone has questions in the live session, please feel free to throw them into the chat window, or if you're watching this and the recording, we will have included contact information for WiLS, but also for Pat if you've got questions to direct directly to Pat. Pat, thanks so much for showing us around. I don't think I'd ever actually had like a tour of ImageQuest before, and so it's always really valuable to get a look at a resource that, especially one that so many of our members use. We've got a pretty substantial and kind of growing group of ImageQuest subscribers among WiLS participants. So thanks again for showing us.
Sure, absolutely. And I just wanted to make sure to point or highlight this particular resource because we've had some wonderful updates to it. And I wanted to make sure that your users, if they haven't been able to get that information, I'm more than happy to share, any videos, any promotional material we have, just so that they can keep up with what's happening with ImageQuest.
Great. Thanks again so much for joining us today. All right, I'm going to share my screen one more time just to bring us to the kind of kickoff for our 4th presenter today. joining us today. Actually, a new face for me from a longtime partner with WiLS again. We've got Robert coming to us from Nearpod. Welcome, Robert. And are you ready to kind of take over?
Yes, I am, Jeff. Thanks for the introduction. Really excited to be here. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Rob. I am an account manager here at Nearpod. I've been with the company now for 4 years. I am one of the few people at Nearpod or Renaissance who was not previously a former educator, but I was a student with an IEP, and I resonate with a lot of our customers, and I love our product so much, and I've seen it firsthand in the classroom, how effective it is and how it's changing the lives of students, and I'm super excited to show you the platform here today. I know we have a lot of users out there for Nearpod, and I'm sure some of y'all have at least used it once in the classroom. Maybe some of y'all have a current school license, but either way, I'm excited to give you just a quick overview of the platform. Very deep platform, but with 15 minutes today, we're trying to do the highlights. So when I have districts, schools, teachers from Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana, those are the states I work with. When I have them reach out to me, it's typically because they're facing one of these 4 obstacles. And I know, especially in the post-COVID landscape, a lot of teachers are experiencing these problems right now. And those problems are that students aren't excited or are not excited about or engaged in the classroom. Technology is not being used in the classroom in an effective way. We have too many ed tech tools that they picked up, a lot of them during COVID probably, and it's a challenge for teachers to support various learner needs, whether that's students with an IEP or EL students. And what we're really trying to do with Nearpod is solve all these problems. And sometimes, districts are only facing one of these problems, or maybe they're facing all 4. And what we're really trying to do is to consolidate tools. So rather than having to go to a bunch of different places to get tools for engagement or additional resources, you can just get it all in Nearpod. So ultimately, we are a tier 1 instructional tool. We are a teacher-centered tool. So we want to make sure that instructional delivery is easier for teachers. We want to streamline that process. But it's also an engagement tool, and the fact that we want to keep students engaged and we want to get real-time insight so that can inform instruction for the teachers. So on the right-hand side, you'll see some statistics. So last year, 92% of educators said that Nearpod is improving student engagement in their classroom. Obviously, a more engaged student is a more successful student. 75% said it helps differentiate instruction. We are primarily a tier 1 instructional tool, but we definitely have applications for tier 2 as well. And 80% have said it saves educators time when sourcing resources. We know time is the teacher's most valuable commodity, and with Nearpod, we're really trying to streamline the whole process for them. So what's great about Nearpod is obviously we have a pre-built library that teachers can access. We also are very customizable. If teachers want to use their own lessons, if they use Google Slides, PowerPoint, they can easily integrate that into Nearpod. Now, how do we use this engagement component of Nearpod? What we're trying to do is turn what are typically passive learning experiences into active learning experiences. Now, what is a passive learning experience? I think about maybe 1 or 2 students raising their hand and participating, students having their faces, heads down, and the devices and their phones, whatever, right? And, why are students doing this in the first place? Why are they not feeling like they want to participate? Maybe they're not feeling confident. Maybe they're just not immersed in the learning experience. Maybe they just don't care. Maybe they don't feel confident or like that they have a voice. Maybe they feel like other students are just going to answer. It could be a variety of reasons, right? But what we want to do is make sure that the students feel empowered and that they'll want to participate. And then when students participate, they're able to give real-time insight to the teachers who then can inform instruction. So we do this by creating a safe space where students are going to want to participate, to give their voices, and that we're providing an overall lesson that's immersive. So what we're going to do is hop into a lesson here really quickly, and we're going to go over some of what it's going to look like. So when you hop into a Nearpod lesson, what you're going to see is a teacher device and a student device. So Nearpod lessons can be guided synchronously or asynchronously. So a teacher can lead the lesson, or they can assign a certain number of slides to students to do at their own pace. So this is going to be a teacher-led lesson. So as we move through the lesson, what you're going to see is throughout this lesson, we've included a lot of activities and formative assessments. So starting this activity, it looks like we're having a virtual field trip of the Amazon jungle. I know a lot of students in Wisconsin will never have the chance to go visit this jungle. So this is just a great way to add context to the beginning of the lesson. And we have 20 plus of these types of activities that are embedded throughout the lesson to make it more engaging. And we're getting through our first formative assessment, which is our Collaborate board. This is one of our most popular ones. And a lot of teachers use this as like a bell ringer. It's just a great way to get a pulse check and see how students are feeling about the material. So as a student, I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to give my answer. Say, I don't know. And as teachers, we're able to see all the responses coming through. We can approve post if we need to. We can, make it anonymous if we feel like students would prefer to answer privately. And as a student, I can be as creative as I want. I can use Google Safe Images. I can use GIFs. I can upload audio, video. There's a lot of different ways I can participate. And I can collaborate. I can comment on each other's post. And it's just a great way to make sure that every student feels empowered to answer and does it in a safe space. And what's great about this is then the teacher gets real-time insight into how students are feeling about the material. So can you see how this would be, more useful than the other kind of ways of just raising your hand and maybe one or student answering the question? This helps you get a pulse check for the entire class. Now, moving on, we're just going to kind of go through here. There's so many different activities, but we're just going to get some highlights. Here we have an open-ended question. We have interactive videos that have pre-embedded questions throughout that students can answer to make those videos more engaging as well. We have quizzes they can do, polls. And what's great is that when students answer, we get that real-time insight. We can share out the answers, and then we can have a discussion as a class. So really what we're trying to do is we want the teachers to be able to get that real-time insight so that if they need to go back and reteach, they can do it in that moment. We don't have to wait till testing. We don't have to wait till we're grading homework, and then by that time it's 2 days later and we've already moved on. If students aren't understanding something, we can go back and reteach it in that moment. In addition to that real-time insight you're going to see in Nearpod, we also do have a reporting feature as well. So if you want to go back and get a better overview of how the entire class did on a lesson, we can do that. You can do that by going to your home screen, going to your reporting tools. We have some data for administrators if they'd like, but here we're going to go to our post-session reports. We're going to have access to all the sessions we've launched. And the data that you're going to see here is how each student did, how much they were participating, and we can see how they did it on each individual activity as well. And what's great about this is that the activities are auto-graded, so that will save you time as well. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we do have lessons available in Nearpod, and we have 22,000 of them built out for y'all. So lessons, videos, activities. And we know that, we're not trying to replace your core curriculum, right? What we're trying to do is that when there are gaps that teachers need to fill, when they need additional support, they can go somewhere that's vetted and trusted. I know a lot of teachers are going places like Teachers Pay Teachers, who knows where they're going, right? But when they do need that support, we want to make it easier for them. So we'll go ahead and hop into Nearpod. We'll show you a little bit of what that library is going to look like. So we have our featured page, which has special lessons that are updated every month for special holidays or events that are coming up. We have lessons for K through 12 and some higher ed. They want to break it down by different subject area, different content types. Maybe they just want to pull out a certain gamification activity, a certain video. They can do that here. We also work with 70+ different publishers. And you'll see a lot here that you recognize: McGraw-Hill, Khan Academy. And essentially, they've given us their content, and we've Nearpodized it and made it more engaging. And finally, if you just are looking for a very specific strand that you're trying to fulfill, let's just go to Wisconsin here. Let's go to language arts. Let's do 6th grade. And then we can find a specific strand and a lesson or activity that correlates to that specific strand. So once again, saving y'all time. Now, finally, I do want to mention that we are working with Renaissance Learning. We are one of the products in their ecosystem. We are the instructional component. So any of y'all out there that are using Renaissance's STAR assessments, we do have an integration that's going to allow you to better utilize that data very quickly by recommending lessons, doing the groupings for y'all. It's all very quick and seamless. So if any of y'all would like more information, feel free to reach out to me here. Here's my information. But we're really excited to get this into your teacher's hands. I promise you that once you use it, it's going to make your life so much easier. Students are going to love it. They're going to want to participate. I've seen it firsthand. And that's all I have, Jeff.
Rob, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yep.
You know, we've been, as I mentioned, we've had a partnership with Nearpod for a long time, but we have kind of recently transitioned to where our members will be coming directly to Nearpod to kind of work with them to figure out what solutions are going to be best for them, and their order will go directly to Nearpod. And then, but they'll be able to take advantage of their partnership in a direct transaction with Nearpod rather than it flowing through WiLS. I only put that out because, you know, I like to highlight our vendor partners who are in that kind of order direct mode, because I don't think we talk about them enough. And so I'm really happy to have you here with us today.
Yep. It was great. I really appreciate the chance to be here, Jeff, and it was a joy to see some of the other vendors too. So
yeah, I feel the same way. So I'm going to go ahead and thanks again, Rob, for being with us today.
Sure.
I'm going to bring us into kind of our wrap up phase for today's session. So I'll say again, thank you to all of our vendor partners for joining us today for another great Taco Tuesday. I think it was a fantastic way to cap off a whole year of highlighting WiLS vendor partners and what they have to offer our cooperative purchasing participation or participants here at WiLS. As I mentioned at the top of the session, we will be presenting Taco Tuesdays again in 2025, and we will soon be announcing the dates and highlighted vendors for those sessions. So all that said, let me say thank you again to our vendor partners for joining us. Thank you again to you, the WiLS vendor or the WiLS members who are watching this, whether you have joined us live or are watching the recording. And we will be signing off from Taco Tuesday for a few weeks. We'll be coming back in January, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks again, everyone. Have a happy holiday season if you are celebrating a holiday this season, and just enjoy the next few weeks, even if you're not. All right, take care and good afternoon.
Thank you.